facing the police every single day.
Tell Charlotte County Sheriff Bill Prummell to fuck off, it violates the Constitution. For other new laws effective today, see page 8. Texting driving. Texting can get you pulled over now. New law is effective today, but tickets not likely yet. Ban. We're sure there will be some bumps along the way as far as how the law is interpreted and enforced. By Ann Easker, staff writer. Florida's new texting and driving law goes into effect July 1st, and here's what you should know. What does the law actually do? The law changes texting while driving to a primary offense, which means cops can pull you over if they see you with your phone out. What are the loopholes? The law does not apply to anyone receiving messages related to operation or navigation of the motor vehicle, safety-related information like traffic or weather alerts, or data used primarily by the motor vehicle. What if I'm stopped? You don't have to hand your phone over. Law enforcement officers are required to inform you of your right to decline a search of your wireless communications device. Officers can't access the device without a warrant, and they can't confiscate it while waiting for a warrant. They are not allowed to obtain consent to search the device through coercion or any other improper method. Consent to search a motor vehicle operator's wireless communications device must be voluntary and unequivocal, the law states. Anything else? The law also bans all use of handheld devices in school and construction zones. Some agencies, like Florida Highway Patrol, say they will issue warnings for texting and driving through December 31st, to provide drivers with additional education of the new law. But some exceptions would apply in Josh Taylor, Northport Police Department spokesperson. Extremely dangerous driving situations, according to FHP. The first violation for drivers is a non-moving offense with a base $30 fine with no points assessed to the driver's record. The second violation is a moving violation with a base $60 fine and 3 points assessed to the driver's record. What LAW enforcement is saying, Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, as with any new traffic law, the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office always introduces it to the community through education, said spokesperson Katie Heck. This will be through social media, news, and community meetings we already attend, such as Neighborhood Watch. Additionally, warnings will first be issued in lieu of citations to educate drivers who are observed in violation. Heck said the citations won't necessarily require a search of the phone, depending on what deputies observe. This is a traffic infraction, and it would rely on the deputy articulating the violation in traffic court should the ticket be contested, similar to any other traffic citation, she said. Punta Gorda Police Department, our officers will enforce this law as we do. See texting, 8A. A new state law that makes texting while driving a primary offense goes into effect today. That means cops can pull you over if you have your cell phone out while driving. Sun photo by Jerry Beard. Texting, you can refuse phone searches. From page 1A. Any other traffic laws, said LT. Dylan Renz. We do not have any plan in place at this time to change any of our practices related to traffic enforcement. Distracted driving is incredibly dangerous and we feel that this is a good step toward reducing the number of accidents in the state related to distracted driving. Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Tom Knight wrote in a recent editorial the new law was written with good intention, but is far from a solution to texting while driving and is simply not enforceable. He stated it's impossible for deputies to tell what people are doing on their phones, and it would be easy for drivers to close applications and delete texts before deputies approach their vehicle. Beginning January 1, 2020, his deputies will enforce the law only when they can do so with 100% confidence. His agency will also continue providing education on the dangers of distracted driving through social media campaigns. Northport Police Department. We're looking for compliance, not to give people a hard time, said NPPD spokesperson Josh Taylor. This is the latest attempt to help make our roads more safe. You would be hard-pressed to find someone who thinks people are not more distracted on the roadways these days. All of our lives are at risk. We're sure there will be some bumps along the way as far as how the law is interpreted and enforced. However, there is some precedent out there. Florida is one of the last states in the country to make texting while driving a primary offense. DeSoto County Sheriff's Office, Colonel James Vitale said the agency is having its legal counsel put together a training bulletin about the statute for deputies. They will be doing mainly educational stops until next January, when they'll begin writing citations, in accordance with the legislature's guidelines. The legislature wants to take the time to make sure people are well educated on what this new law is before they start taking any sanctions that are going to impact people financially or through other means, Vitale said. While people can refuse to turn their phones over to be searched, Vitale said that's the whole premise of the Fourth Amendment and not something deputies should begrudge. Email, and.esker@yoursoon.com.
We remind you and tell you all the time, don't text and drive. Well, starting tomorrow, you could get in legal trouble if a cop spots you doing it. A new state law makes it a primary offense, so officers can pull you over and slap you with a fine. Wink News reporter Anika Henniger explains what you need to know.
The big question. Professors, former police officer David Thomas, and attorney Pamela C. What would happen if you were to get pulled over?
It allows the person who's using the phone to say, no, you may not look at my phone.
But if you decided to show an officer your last few texts to prove your innocence, C says they couldn't go beyond that. It would stay private.
Let's say you open your trunk and you say, I have this in my trunk, and you point to this in your trunk. Well, if they see something else, they can look at that. Well, it's not the same with your phone.
While Dr. Thomas says texting at stoplights, navigating on a GPS, or reading emergency alerts like a weather warning is legal, without looking at your phone, it's tough for officers to know the difference between that and texting.
I don't know how you prove it. It's going to be almost impossible unless that officer pulls up and literally is looking right over into your car to be able to see you punching those keys.
But until 2020, officers are issuing warnings rather than citations and license points.
No, it's actually a good educational process, and it allows them to collect data.
Data, Thomas says, may end up broadening the law to look more like the one taking effect in October.
Now, critics call the penalties weak. For a first-time offense, it's just $30. For a second, $60 and 3 points on your driver's license. For more information about the texting law and a complete list of all of the state laws that go into effect tomorrow, just go to the Wink News app.
Hey, Sheriff County, this is Sheriff County Cop Watch. I am using any video here with under fair use if you have criticism, reporting, teaching, etc. And please donate. I do not make money from YouTube. And there are different ways to donate in the video links. Thanks.